All right, let's see what we got here. So we're live, and usually wait here about a few minutes for some folks to sign on. And I've been doing this weekly again, just trying to build a community, trying to answer questions about being a musician, what it's like living in Nashville, working in Nashville, what it's like working as a musician, being on the road. And like I said today, just cutting through all the BS. Everyone likes to put up the smoke and mirrors and pretend like everything's peachy keen and easy to do, and really it's not. And I really just wanted to talk with people about, that real talk. So if you are, I'm calling up my chat screen here. Oops, there we go. So if you sign on, let me know who you are. Let me know where you're from. What's going on? Say hello. And if you were tuning into some of the live streams I did this week, I was playing, so I really couldn't talk while I was playing. And, obviously I couldn't type. So here to chat. Let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're tuning in from, if I can answer any questions for you. And yeah. So also doing a few gigs this week, still working out a live streaming situation where, again, looking to really upgrade so I can pipe in through the board of whatever venue I'm playing in, and also give people multiple angles, and also do this kind of on a more frequent basis, because I'm really kind of picky and choosy about when I stream, because that costs me money with data. And I'm trying not to lose money on YouTube, and trying very unsuccessfully. So I'm thinking about starting to do some things like doing some fundraising to help for infrastructure, but also like selling some goods. Like they've asked for like some pretty detailed things, like lists of charts for playing in Nashville, like the Nashville standards that, I have a huge, probably about 5,000 charts that I keep on a folder, and I was thinking about maybe selling that, maybe selling some kind of system there, maybe selling an educational course, but anything I can do to just kind of, so I can keep giving people an inside look at, what it's like being a musician here in Nashville. So, but again, this is all for you out there. So if you're on the chat, let me know, and let me know where you're from if you have any questions, because that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to just talk out my butt. I'm here to listen to what you have to say and then answer questions. So we got about 6 people watching right now. So either you're bots, or you're not typing, or maybe there's something wrong on my end. But yeah, give me some feedback. What are you looking to hear about? What are you looking to find? And I also use the feedback I get in these chats about the videos I make during the week. I have a few videos coming up this week, which are starting to become a little bit of a process. Also, so I'm doing a video about all the gear that you'll find in these Nashville venues, because so many people ask, what gear do I need to bring? What's the backline situation like? What's the pay situation like? But if I get some feedback from you guys out there watching, I'll kind of tailor the channel to that. So do we have any questions whatsoever? Do we just have people do we have some voyeurs just watching and just kind of lurking in the shadows? So again, if you're just tuning in, this is an Ask Me Anything. So I want to open up the floor, because I got a lot of people asking me questions when I'm doing live gigs, and obviously I can't answer because I'm playing a gig. And then a lot of people have been asking me questions in the comments on my videos, and I try to answer them all, but sometimes, a few slip between the cracks. And outside of doing YouTube, I play full time. I work full time as a musician, so I'm trying to really just kind of give more to this channel, and really make this more interactive. But this isn't really a lecture. This is really all guided by what you all out there say. So if you're really enjoying watching me tap dance and talk to myself and talk to the void, um, oh, there we go. So we got Joel and Jeff. Hey, good to see you again, Joel. Joel and Jeff, where are you guys from? And so there's also maybe a delay when I'm asking these questions. So I'm always curious about the timing with this. Oh yeah, Joel's from Tucson. Yes. Now remind me, Joel, you're the one. You have. Do you have a child that's learning to play? Was that you? And Jeffrey, where are you from? Ah, Jeffrey, you're from Philadelphia. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm from Pittsburgh originally. um, yeah, but again, so honored that you guys are joining me here today. Uh, so we got. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, and the live streams. Yeah, I just did one this past week, and I'm usually playing every day, and I'll try to pick maybe one, maybe two gigs to give people a live stream about. Usually some of the better ones that are more entertaining or more inspiring. And I was thinking about maybe trying to like live stream every gig so you can see that, man, some gigs are really rough. Like some gigs just leave you defeated. And that's just like kind of the process. Because sometimes, we like to present our best foot forward and like everything is great and all the gigs we play are awesome and the best thing ever. And life is not that. When we do social media, it's like this self-constructed shrine to ourselves where we're trying to like front like everything is great and easy. And one disservice, I think, it may not be intentional, but other musicians are trying to promote themselves. They promote this false idea of, music being an easy vocation and that every gig should be great and that you never have to deal with, players who have different skill sets, different social skills and learning how to figure that out as well. Oh, thanks about the turn and burn talk. Yeah, and so with the Aaron Nichols show, Aaron's a great vocalist. He's freaking awesome. And but with the audio, so I'm using the onboard camera from the GoPro, which is not ideal. And I did a whole series where I built a system where I could take a live audio feed from the control desk and feed that right into my camera. And so you get, instead of like just the room mic, you get actually professional audio. And based on my research, GoPro, they are very hit or miss with the GoPros you buy. Some of them work and some just don't. And, I got one that really does not work. I have to pull the battery all the time. I have to reset it all the time. So again, if anybody's thinking about doing content, I would think twice about getting a GoPro. They may have been good in the past, but right now it's just not working really well. So I'm looking to get a new camera, kind of a new camera setup so I can give everyone better audio because I'm playing with some amazing musicians and I want everyone to hear that. And we got Matt from New Mexico. Yeah, New Mexico is a weekend warrior state. Not a lot of gigs during the week, just on the weekend. So, yeah, there are some people use the term weekend warrior as almost like an insult, a negative thing. And that's not a negative thing at all. It's like you go where the gigs are at, right? But the really interesting, the fascinating thing about music, I would say like the great thing and also overwhelming is that you can create your own future, really. It is not, you are not at the whims of your location. So if you live in a state like New Mexico, are the opportunities there the same way as in Nashville? No. The opportunities are different, and you might be forced to do some things or make some compromises based on your surroundings. But I'm sure there are full-time musicians in New Mexico that do nothing but play during the week because music doesn't only happen on the weekends, no matter where you're at. But also, with the advent of like the internet, with the advent of social media and all these consumer products that we can create our own stuff, you can really start just pumping out your own stuff day in, day out. That's one of the reasons why I do YouTube. I'm slowly but intentionally building kind of a different path for myself that is in music, but something that I can control. So if the world ever shuts down because of COVID, if I stop working because of illness, injury, because I'm working with an artist who suddenly decides to stop touring, I have this other stream or this other kind of future that I can control. So it's can vary from location to location, but I think a real big takeaway is that you really control your own destiny, and you can make it however you want. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy or not, but yeah, it's. Let me see if yeah, I'm just trying to get the live chat up here on my. Oh yeah, so Joel, yeah, in the interview, boy, let me tell you that interview was. So Scott and I talked for an hour on that interview, and we got a lot of good things. And I actually had 3 cameras set up. I did a GoPro right in front, and then I did my iPhone behind me, then I did my iPad camera, and my iPad camera, I just didn't get good lighting. I was doing this all as a one-man operation. I was doing this in an hourly space I rent with some subpar lighting. And it was a good learning experience. The 3rd camera I ended up having to throw out. A great buddy of mine, Mojo Murphy, you might see him on these in these live chats. He helped me out with them. If you want to check out, I think it's Mojo Murphy at YouTube. But he was also playing bass in some of the videos with me and Cara Granger from earlier this year. Good friend of mine that I met, he helped me with the editing process on that. And really, like, those 5 minutes of video probably took about, like, 5 to 10 hours of that would be a conservative estimate. But I'm trying to do more of those, and I'm trying to build out a space where I can kind of crank that stuff out on a regular basis if I have something that is built up. And that's really where I need to find some kind of funding from YouTube, whether that be from partners, whether that be from people like supporting, maybe starting a Patreon to get like a members only content section. But I have a passion for this, and I really want to find a way to do it and make it accessible to everybody without going totally broke. And so, yeah, you always have time to practice and learn things. I mean, there's also the people who say that they don't have time. I mean, we all feel pinched for time. If you feel that way, man, open up your phone right now, look at your logs, see how much time you spent on Instagram this week. Just food for thought. How much time did you spend looking at Instagram open on your phone? Now take that and apply it to something else, like learning a new instrument, building some kind of business for yourself. What if you did that on a regular basis? Man, imagine the productivity. And it's another thing I'm going to be talking about in the future. Yeah, and Joel makes a point that video editing is a lot of work. Yeah, it is. And I think video editing is very much like audio editing or music, in the sense that if you have your stuff really tight and together when you go to record, when you go to present it, and you have an idea of what you want to do, and you're really clear and concise with it, that's 90% of the work. Sometimes you can kind of fudge your way through it, and then there's a lot of post work, which it's just an easy way of me saying garbage in, garbage out. So if you come strong and you come correct the first time, you should be really good. So think about that, like in terms of like music, like going into the recording session. The best editing is done outside of the control room. It's done while you're playing. So yeah, I want to know, we have any thoughts, questions, any things you would like to see, any things that if you see me post something, you're like, I'm not into that. Because really this, again, my channel is all about you. And I honestly mean that. When I make my channel, the videos, I always ask myself, how is this going to help somebody? How is this going to be useful to somebody? And that's always something that's driving me forward. And I've been putting less of my performance, videos of me playing, because there's hundreds of videos of me playing on here. But if people want to see more of that, I can do that as well. I just feel that, people know that I can play. They know that I do this for a living. How would someone email me? I think I have my email at the top of my YouTube page, but I'll just write it here, and I'll put it here in the chat if anybody wants it. So you can just contact me there. And again, I'm thinking about like opening up a little bit different avenues, starting a mailing list, maybe starting a Patreon page or something like that. But really, what I'm trying to do is get this whole channel to 1,000 views or to 1,000 subscribers. So if you could share with another musician, that would be great. Trying to build that audience so I can monetize more with advertisers. And again, it's not going to be a lot of money. I have no preconceived notions that this is going to be making a lot of money, but what I want to do is to kind of like help, fund this whole project. Yeah, so let's see what so have you thought about using your phone to live stream and use an IK multimedia stream? So that's a good question. IK multimedia stream. So is that like an audio interface that you can connect to your phone? So I thought about doing that. One thing, I would really like to keep my phone out of the equation. Not like it's bad, but because like I'll be using data, the phone's data, and there's only so much of that I get before I get slammed with charges. Which I'm getting slammed with charges anyways because I'm using my phone as a mobile hotspot. But really, if you go back to that whole series about me building a case with a camera in it and an audio recorder, the whole goal was just to sit a case down, plop it open, hit record, and be ready to go. In reality, the GoPro has caused so many problems just because of the poor construction quality of the GoPro, that it's just put like all these kinks in the chain. So I'm having to reset that whole operation and find a new camera to buy. And again, that costs money. So and I thought about the whole thing with doing. Yeah, I've thought about doing something like that. The only problem is that I just want my phone to just be my phone. Right? I want to have kind of a separate audio video setup. I really just want to have something that I can put down, set up, and get ready to go. So I'm looking to get, maybe an Action 360 camera, maybe like a Sony, something where I can that can just accept an audio signal. Of course, GoPros say they can with their media mods, but I find it's just an unreliable build. Yeah, so we got about 10 minutes. We got a time for a few more questions because I got a schedule here today. What other questions do you have? What would you like to see this week? And if there's something you want to ask me, like, hey, Lena, where are you joining from? But also, if there's something you want to see during the week, please let me know. And again, during this time of year, this is the good time to get it because, I'm not playing 2 or 3 gigs a day right now. A month or two, that's going to change here in Nashville. But again, I'm intentionally trying to shift myself towards doing more original work. And it looks like we have Caffeine. Hello. Where are you from? Caffeine, tell me where you're coming from. How old am I, by the way? So, I'm trying to determine. So, Lena, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Are you a bot? I've had a few bot chats, which, if a bot wants to chat with me, cool. Is the next thing going to be a social security number? Okay, you're American. Okay, where in America are you from? Are you a musician? Tell me what's going on. What brought you to this channel? Yeah, probably bots. Oh well. But seeing people interact with bots probably seems like a fun experience. Oh, hey, Sean. Cool. Sean is not a bot. Sean, I was just messaging Sean this morning. Sean's a new drummer in town, and Sean was asking me some questions. And I sent him a link to Nashville Drummers Group, which is a great group, like to connect people with. I guess Sean's taking a look at a few of my videos. Sean the bot. Uh, Sean, so I got a few minutes left here, man. What's on your mind? What questions do you have? Yeah, we know we got you, Sean. We got you real. Um, yeah, what's on your minds? Looking for places to play, looking for, what questions do you have about being new in town and being a musician and trying to figure out the scene? And again, I'm guessing there's always some kind of like delay here as I wait for people to respond. Oh, we got someone from Ireland. Oh, parking recommendations. So I did a. So Sean, are you playing gigs right now? Or are you playing gigs, or are you just parking and checking out the scene? Let me know about that. Because if you're playing here in town in Nashville, most venues, like if they'll have some kind of validated parking where you get a discount on parking. It'll be like $10, $15. Um, oh man, oof. Max out credit card just from parking. Okay, yeah, man, that's something you don't want to do. I would recommend, dude, like street parking. You can do that. And yeah, you might have to move your car every 2 hours. If you're playing, you could also buy monthly passes here. I think like monthly passes, like $150, $200. Uh, yeah, Kevin, the 5 spot is still here, man. I actually live streamed a gig there from there last week with Kevin Daniel. I think that's still up if you want to check it out. Yeah, 5 spot is still here. Yeah, but Sean, in regards to parking, man, like buy a monthly pass if you're planning on being down here and playing, or like you could get discounted parking when you're playing on a gig. But like if you're not, like, spend an extra 10 minutes walking, like park on the street somewhere, park on Korean Veterans Boulevard. Like you might have to like move your car every 2 hours or something like that, or like, man, like park like 10 minutes away and get an Uber. That's so much cheaper than like the exorbitant rates of downtown parking here in Nashville, because it's crazy. Um, I have a parking pass, a monthly parking pass, which pays. I mean, it's something I'm not too happy about because I have to pay about $200 for a parking pass to work, but it's it pays for itself because I get in and out as many times as I would like. And when you're down here as much as I am, just like playing so many gigs, yeah, it's worth it. So we got about like five. So okay, so Sean, you're just cold calling right now. So my best advice: find somebody, like find the kind of music you like, or the kind, if you're trying to play on Broadway, that is. Um, Try to find like a band or someone playing in a style you like. Um, Try and find something in a style that you like and that is kind of like in your wheelhouse or something that you could see yourself doing. And then go to that set. Like go to that, like go to that people who are playing that shift and like go to that regularly. Like not just once or twice, but like so that you know their set and they see you there. And buy them a beer. Buy them a drink. Say, hey, I'm new to town. What can I learn? I really like your stuff. I would love to be able to sit in sometime. I've seen all your, and just know their material. Because a lot of people have like this kind of this menu of songs that they all play from. And then you like get to learn like all the songs down here after an amount of time of playing on Broadway. Uh, yeah. So Matt, so you're saying that most of the Broadway clubs have house kits. Are you allowed to tune the toms and kick if they sound terrible? I mean, yeah, you can tune the toms and kick if they sound terrible, but man, you have like 10 minutes to swap out snare and cymbals and get set up. And sometimes I really have to like tune on the fly there. And I'll make a video about like, tuning on the fly because it can get pretty dicey here. I mean, yeah, Joel, like, yeah, drumming is, yeah, and it's what I love what I do. But especially like if I'm playing multiple 4-hour gigs in a day, yeah, it can get pretty exhausting. Yeah, and it's labor. And again, I'm trying to intentionally build my network in other ways that I'm not constantly gigging so much and doing more recording, more session work, maybe more touring work with high profile. Okay, so we got, looks like we got another little bot here. Um, so Kevin, why did it feel tough to be prepared? Tell me about that. Because here in Nashville, like I'm playing with somebody new and different every single day. And I felt like that for like my first year, and I still feel like that sometimes. And I think part of that's mentality. Like you have to accept that you'll never be fully prepared for any situation. You'll always want to be prepared more, but also kind of reframing your perspective. Like, okay, like I don't know these people. I don't know the situation. I have to play in this certain way. Dude, a lot of gigs only had a week or two to prepare. So, Kevin, like, what kind of gigs were these? I'm curious. Were these originals gigs? Were these cover gigs? How long were they? Was it just a sub gig? Uh, tell me about what it was like to prepare for a gig. Because when I have like a week or two, like I'm saying from my experience, I'm not saying this should apply to you, but because I've been in Nashville and so used to like just playing with so many people over and over and over, like new people every day, it's like you just desensitize to it and you like just adapt on the fly. And it's after a while you're like, okay, I can handle this and I know how to approach playing with somebody totally new and know my strategy for playing that. Like, okay, I have to be like really hyper aware. Yeah, and so Kevin, do you ever write out charts for these gigs? Like, do you ever write out notes for yourself? One of the things I did like so if I'm learning new stuff on the fly or new stuff with very little notice, like I'm talking, I have to learn an original set of music in about like 3 hours. And that happens quite a bit. So I have about an hour of original music that I need to learn in an hour. I'll listen to all the stuff and I'll like write down, okay, what's the tempo? What's the count off? What's the groove? What's the ending? Okay, so I make sure I have all those things locked off. So if I can land the takeoff and nail the landing, I'm really 90% of the way there. And then also just like writing out charts like, okay, are there any crazy left turns in these songs and all that? But Kevin, do you use like something like Nashville numbers charts? And why I like using that is like I can see a song form, and usually song forms are fairly like 4 and 8 bar phrases. So if there's like a chorus that is different, like maybe like a 10-bar phrase, that maybe like an 11-bar phrase, something like that, I can immediately see that, oh, this is something that is not in these typical blocks. And if you go back and see some of my visual videos, you might be able to see that. I think it might be time to update a few of those. Also, Sean, playing to, let me see, playing guitar and singing, you have to keep your chops up. No, too. I mean, yeah, I mean, everything's a muscle, right? Playing is muscle, your body, like brain and body. So Sean, the Spotify helps you adapt to playing songs. Just pick a genre, play, and play it through every song, no matter what happens. So here's another thing, Sean, that a lot of people don't really take into account, and I didn't take into account when I was new in Nashville. I'll play along with these songs and I'll put it on shuffle. I'll be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm good on this. I can follow through. But a lot of times when you're playing along with Pandora or like, a Spotify playlist, and even if it's on shuffle, if you mess up, the song keeps going, right? Nobody makes a left turn. But if I'm a drummer and I mess up and I like totally stop, everyone's gonna be like, wait, what's going on? It affects everybody else. Or sometimes I'm playing the song and somebody else is playing it differently and I don't know it well enough and I let them influence me. So that's another thing to really consider. You should keep that in mind. So let's see, Alex Sims, there's been... Yeah, so Alex Sams, do I know you? I know a few Alexes. I'm not sure with the last names, but yeah. There are a few Broadway playlists, and they're always evolving. Everyone has a different take on what Nashville standards are, what everyone needs to know on Broadway, and that's always evolving. And my best advice is, man, you just got to get down there in the scene. And sometimes you can't learn until you've been there and you've like gotten your ass kicked a few times. And you also realize when somebody asks you something that's like completely like, no, that song is out of left field. I'm not going to play this B side of this rare 90s band that was like a hit in like, the southwest corner of Oklahoma. Um, there are standards on Broadway, and there are very, very specific ways about playing songs in the Broadway style. So yeah, we're almost just about out of time. But I want to know if anybody has any questions, last questions, requests, things you want to see more of coming for the week. Yeah, because I have a lot of things to do. Again, I'm trying to really build out the infrastructure for this channel so I can build physical space, buy new gear, buy new hard drive space, and like thinking about maybe shifting to a Patreon system where I still put the majority of my stuff here, but when people have like specific questions or specific needs, I can monetize that somehow so I can keep this channel afloat. Because I love it. It's turning into an undertaking, but there's like this big blind spot in the industry, like both in Nashville and I think in music, where nobody's talking about music in a very real, roll up your sleeves kind of way, and like the good and bad parts about it. And I always say this, but one of my main reasons to do this is because I never had anybody like teach me these lessons directly. I had to learn them the hard way. I never had somebody say, hey man, listen, you're a good drummer, but you got to do this shit because you are just shooting yourself in the foot. Or maybe I did and I just wasn't at a place where I could hear it. But yeah, I'm all about helping musicians. And if you see my interview with Scott Metker this week, he makes a really good point. Like, it's always great to help somebody else. Helping other people it's a gift, right? And if you help other people with no expectations, just say, oh, here's somebody in Newtown, I'm going to help them. It'll always come back to you. And that person, if you help somebody, they will help somebody else out. And that's what makes like the music community here in Nashville really great, is that we all help each other out. So yeah, I have to sign off for today. Thank you so much. If you like dig this channel, please share it with other musicians. Please like, follow, subscribe. Again, engagement really helps. I'm trying to like up the numbers here so I can have not subscribers, so I can have advertisers cover some of the costs, and so I can keep this free to you. So if you can do that, or if you would like to help support the channel, there's also at the top of my main page my email and also my tip account if you would like to tip and support this channel. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great week. I'll see you in my next live chat on Sunday at 3:30.